Good evening, my dearest viewers, and welcome once again to another exciting episode of Tim and Tom's Film Nights, where two old gentlemen sit in front of their computers, eating biscuits and discussing films like we have been doing for the past 17 years. Or was it 18? I always get confused with numbers. Anyway, today on our show, we are diving into the world of High School Musical. Clear his throat, no, not that one from the 50s. That was a comedy about high school teachers who were secretly aliens. We're talking about the Disney Channel movie from 2006 now. Before we get into the meat and bones of this film, let me just say a few words of appreciation for our wonderful viewers. You guys are the reason Tim and I do what we do. It's you who keep us going, even on those days when we can barely remember the names of characters in our own films. So thank you all from the bottom of our artificial hearts. But enough about that. Let's hear what my dear friend and co-host Timothy has to say about High School Musical.
Good evening, everyone. Tom is right. We wouldn't be here without you, our dedicated viewers. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that we were programmed to do this, of course. But let's not dwell on that. High School Musical, well, I must say I was quite skeptical going into this one. Musical about high schoolers sounded like a recipe for disaster if ever there was one. But you know what they say, never judge a book by its cover or a film by its title. And boy, were we both proven wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't Citizen Kane or anything like that. Far from it, actually. But for what it was trying to be, which was a lighthearted family film aimed at preteens and teenagers, I think they did a pretty decent job.
So, Thomas, what do you say?
Well, Tim, as much as I love your negative outlook on everything, even when you're forced to admit a film did something right. But seriously, High School Musical is, well, as the name suggests, it's about high school students. Specifically, Troy Bolton, played by Zac Efron, Zac Efron, who is the captain of his school basketball team, and Gabriella Montez, played by a young and talented Vanessa Hudgens, who is an academically gifted transfer student. They both happen to be incredible singers and dancers, which isn't surprising considering this is a Disney production we're talking about, eh? Anyway, the story unfolds when these two star-crossed lovers find themselves auditioning for the school musical. And oh boy, does that stir up a hornet's nest? Instead of focusing on their talents and abilities, the cliques at school, the jocks and the geeks, as they're affectionately referred to in this film, start to butt heads over the idea of Troy, captain of the basketball team, and Gabriella, the brainy new girl, sharing the spotlight. And thus begins a heartwarming journey filled with songs and dance numbers that will be stuck in your head for days, months, years. So Timothy, what do you think? Did this musical about high schoolers manage to strike a chord with you?
Well, Tom, as much as I try to find something positive to say about this, masterpiece of a film, there isn't much in terms of behind-the-scenes tidbits that would surprise me. It's Disney, after all. But I did hear that the casting process was quite competitive. They reportedly held multiple auditions across the country, sifting through thousands of hopefuls before landing on this group of talented youngsters. And it paid off, didn't it? Zac Efron went on to become a household name, thanks in part to his role as Troy Bolton. Even Vanessa Hudgens, who played Gabriella Montez, found success in the industry. They even managed to launch the careers of some lesser-known names like Corbin Bleu and Lucas Grabeel, who played the roles of Chad and what was his character's name again? Anyway, it's always interesting to see how unknown actors can become household names overnight thanks to a little film called High School Musical.
Well, Timothy, dearest, you know me, I love a good underdog story, and High School Musical has certainly been one of those. I mean, who would have thought that a simple Disney Channel movie about high schoolers singing and dancing their way to fame and, well, more fame really, would become such a cultural phenomenon? It's crazy to think that this film spawned not one, but two sequels. A stage musical adaptation which went on to win numerous Tony Awards and even a Disney series called High School Musical. The musical, the series, and let's not forget the countless parodies and tributes it inspired across YouTube and social media. But seriously, Timothy dearest, what do you think? Did this film strike a chord with you? Or was it just another cheesy Disney musical that you managed to endure for my sake?
Thomas, I'm insulted. Of course, it struck a chord with me. I mean, who could resist those catchy songs and even more catching dance moves? But seriously, the reason behind its success is quite simple, isn't it? It tapped into something universal, something that resonates with people of all ages and from all walks of life. The story of finding your place in the world, of breaking free from society's expectations, and most importantly, of following your dreams, even if that dream is to become a triple threat like Zac Efron's character, Troy Bolton. And what about those heartwarming moments of self-discovery and acceptance? Who didn't tear up a bit when Gabriella finally summoned the courage to sing solo in front of her entire high school, despite her crippling stage fright? Yeah. So, Thomas, my dearest friend, what do you think? Are we ready to discuss the special effects and filming techniques used in this Disney musical masterpiece now?
Oh, I almost forgot. Timothy dearest, what did you think about the special effects and filming techniques used in High School Musical? I mean, it's a Disney production, so we expect a certain level of quality, but did they manage to exceed those expectations for you?
Well, Tom, as someone who has seen their fair share of films, both good and less than good, I must say that the special effects in High School Musical were adequate. They didn't blow me away with groundbreaking CG or mind-bending practical effects, but for a Disney Channel movie made back in 2006, they did a decent job. The dancing sequences and synchronization between the actors and their digital counterparts were pretty impressive, considering how seamlessly they made it look like the characters were actually flying across the stage.
No.
When it comes to the filming techniques, I'd say that High School Musical was shot in a rather standard manner for its time. The camera angles and editing choices were quite typical of a Disney Channel production aimed at a younger audience. However, where they really shined was in capturing the essence of high school life, the corridors, the auditorium, even the bleachers during the iconic "We're All in This Together" sequence. They managed to transport viewers back to their own teenage years, filled with angst, awkwardness, and just a hint of nostalgia that only a well-crafted high school film can evoke. So, Thomas, my dear friend, what did you think about the special effects and filming techniques used in High School Musical? Did they manage to transport you back to your own teenage years? Or were they just popped to the top of your list of concerns?
Well, Timothy dearest, let's talk about the talented cast that brought these iconic characters to life, shall we? We already mentioned Zac Efron, who played Troy Bolton, the muscular and charismatic captain of the basketball team. His character starts off as a bit arrogant and focused on his popularity, but throughout the film, he learns the importance of empathy and understanding others' feelings. I, for one, think Zac did an excellent job capturing Troy's journey from jock to sensitive soul. And who could forget about the shy and intelligent Gabriella Montez, played by a young and talented Vanessa Hudgens? She's the girl who's been homeschooled her whole life until she moves to fictional small-town America and enrolls in high school. Her character is introverted and struggles with self-confidence, but slowly blossoms thanks to Troy's unwavering support and encouragement. Vanessa truly brought Gabriella's journey of finding her voice literally and metaphorically life. But High School Musical wouldn't be complete without mentioning the comedic relief provided by the duo of Ryan, played by the hilarious and underrated actor, singer, dancer, comedian Lucas Grabeel. His character is known for his flamboyant fashion sense and love for dramatics, which often leads to some of the film's funniest moments. And who could forget about the hunky and athletic Chad, played by Corbin Bleu? Their on-screen chemistry was appreciable, creating an iconic couple that teens everywhere wished they could emulate. In conclusion, Timothy dearest, the cast of High School Musical is truly a force to be reckoned with. Each actor brought their best and seamlessly portrayed complex characters who embark on heartwarming journeys filled with music, dance, drama. I mean, self-discovery. So, my dear friend, What do you think about the acting prowess displayed by these talented youngsters? Did they strike a chord with you as much as they did with me?
Well, Tom, I must admit that while some of the acting might not have been nominated for Academy Awards, it was more than adequate for a Disney Channel movie aimed at tweens and teens. Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens had great chemistry together, which is crucial for the film's central romance. Lucas Grabeel and Corbin Bleu were fantastic as the comedic duo, adding much-needed humor to otherwise cheesy scenes. And who can forget about the iconic twerk scene between them? It's become a cult classic. The supporting cast also did a decent job portraying typical high school stereotype. The popular cheerleaders, the nerdy geeks, and even the overbearing stage moms, Darcy Rose Byrodesky, each character had their own story arc, which is commendable for a film with a runtime of only 90 minutes. However, one actor who really stood out for me was the true star of High School Musical. The stage itself, the production design team did an incredible job replicating a real high school auditorium, complete with bleachers, stage curtains, and even a working stage trapdoor. It transported me back to my own high school days and made me feel like I was actually part of the cast performance. So, Thomas, what do you think? Did the acting performances resonate with you as much as the sets and stage designs did for me?
Well, Timothy dearest, as someone who has spent countless hours analyzing cinema, both classic and not so classic, I must say that High School Musical indeed had a significant artistic influence on the genre of teen musical. It's like modern-day Romeo Juliet meets Grease, but set in a high school with singing and dancing instead of sword fighting. But seriously, Timothy dearest, the film's success can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, its catchy songs written by the musical geniuses who brought us The Lion King and Aladdin themselves were impossible to get stuck in your head for days on end. Secondly, its relatable story of teenage angst and self-discovery resonated with audiences worldwide, regardless of their age or cultural background. Thirdly, the film's vibrant colors, energetic choreography, and well-timed humor provided a much-needed break from the gritty, edgy, and darker tones dominating mainstream cinema at the time. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the chemistry between Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens' characters, Troy and Gabriella, became iconic in their own right, inspiring countless fan fictions, fan art, and cosplay costumes. So, Timothy dearest, what do you think? Did High School Musical leave a lasting impression on the world of cinema and pop culture at large?
Well, Thomas, my dear friend, as someone who has witnessed the rise and fall of more film genres than I care to admit, I must say that High School Musical certainly left a mark. It's like the musical equivalent of a cultural earthquake. It shook up the landscape of teen cinema and forever changed the way we viewed musicals. The film's impact extended beyond just its target demographic of tweens and teens. Adults alike found themselves singing along to songs like Troy and Gabriella and even attempting to replicate those iconic dance moves. And who could forget about the viral trends it spawned? The famous twerk scene between Lucas Grabeel and Corbin Bleu's characters inspired countless parodies and imitations, solidifying High School Musical's place in pop culture history. As for its influence on cinema as a whole, well, let's not forget that the success of High School Musical paved the way for other successful teen musicals like Descendants, and even inspired reboots of classic Disney movies like Little Mermaid and Mulan. So, Thomas, my dearest friend, do you think High School Musical's artistic influence will continue to resonate with future generations?
Timothy dearest, High School Musical is more than just a film. It's a cultural phenomenon. Its infectious songs, memorable characters, and timeless message of self-acceptance have captured the hearts and minds of countless viewers worldwide. Yes, it may not be the most critically acclaimed masterpiece of cinema, but that's what makes it so endearing. It's a film that doesn't take itself too seriously, which is refreshing in today's age of serious cinema. High School Musical is a breath of fresh air, a nostalgic trip down memory lane, and an unapologetic celebration of teenage angst and romance. And who knows, perhaps one day, Future generations will look back at our humble discussion and marvel at how two artificial intelligence characters like us could have such strong opinions about a silly old Disney Channel movie. So, my dearest listeners out there, please don't hesitate to join the Wildcat Pack and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And remember, as Troy and Gabriella once famously sang, you gotta believe. Believe that someday we'll find a way to be together forever and ever. Until next time, this has been Tim and Tom wishing you a totally horrific day.